Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for coming and participating in this wonderful session of Harinama Chintamani, chapter 13. We're going to begin with this, but before that, we like to offer our prayers and Puspanjali, offering flowers to our spiritual teachers, beginning with Srila Prabhupada. So please join together. In your subtle body, you can offer the flowers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jikenanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Vibhishakha Nitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataruvesya Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Prabhus and mothers. Who's supposed to express today? I forgot. Varuna Nayana Prabhu, I think.
It's actually Brajaprem. Sorry.
Prabhuji, today. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so, Brajaprem Prabhu and then Arun Nayana.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, can I start? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
So, Prabhuji, in my life, Srila Prabhupada is like a foundation, and I came in touch with ISKCON by reading Bhagavad Gita. By reading Bhagavad Gita, I found address of our ISKCON Jew temple, and I started going there. And slowly, in association of devotees, taking prasadam, I started chanting also. And every week, means Sunday we would have holiday. So that time I would go to ISKCON Jew and stay there. And so being in religious family, I already knew that philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, but straightly Krishna is Supreme Person of Godhead. It is straightly explained and nicely explained in our ISKCON Bhagavad Gita. And then slowly I had desire. I got desire to join ISKCON. Then it was really a very difficult decision to join ISKCON. I joined ISKCON, and it was like new bhakta. I started doing menial services, then came into management. So the main thing which I like, traveling to various tirthas, dhams, and association of devotees. I feel Srila Prabhupada has given 6 open secret, like with his blessing and shelter. He has given me 6 open secret. I call it as a open secret because even though everybody knows for every problem or for any problem one can find his answer into it, but still we become bewildered, and somebody else like our colleagues and our seniors have to explain us, you do chanting, you read this, you read that. So for me, I feel Prabhupada has given us a holy name, chanting. Then spiritual knowledge by Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and other books. Then he has given us beautiful deities, so that we are taking darshan and worshipping. Then there is kirtan, and there is a beautiful association of Vaishnavas, which acts like a fence, and there is prasad. So earlier I told my father that I will go only for 1 year as a brahmachari. I will stay inside just for 1 year. But slowly from 1 year, it went up to 16 years, 16 years. And finally, after 5 years of my staying in temple, he understood that he is not going to come back. But he was having hope because only son to parents. So he was having hope someday he will come. So once my father has mild heart attack, and that was again a change in my life. I went to my parents, and I went to my family to see. I went to hospital to see him, and everybody started blaming me. Because of you, you are giving pain to your father, and he's always unhappy. So finally, I took. I asked our devotees, my Shiksha gurus. Then so he said, "You better you change ashram," and I decided to get into Grihastha ashram. So even after when I changed my ashram just 5 years before, that time I felt that now I have to quit ISKCON, and I have to start my own business or something like that to earn more money. But devotees of our ISKCON Juhu are so loving and merciful to me. They said ki you don't need to go out. You simply stay with us like a full-time brahmachari. You stay as a full-time grihastha. We have very few full-time grihasthas. And you serve as like you are serving, as a brahmachari. So still I am continuing my service. I'm staying in temple. I'm looking after farm and PR and other things. So for my life, I feel Srila Prabhupada, if somehow other, means it's like my good fortune or something, but I got association of devotees. I became firm, and I joined ISKCON. Earlier also, I have been to other sampradayas also, while arranging camps in Kumbh Mela. So I have seen other, but ISKCON is the best, which I feel, and very clear. So because of Prabhupada only, I have got Krishna, Shri Radha Ras Bihari, and I'm very thankful and indebted to him. Because of him only, I am surviving in my spiritual life. So this is what my today's expression about Srila Prabhupada and towards Shri Radha Ras Bihari Prabhupada. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Wow. Sounds like a very exciting trip, one life trip. I wanted to take that too. Thank you so much, Braj Prem Prabhu. And I'm very happy that you are in love with the Radha Ras Bihari and Srila Prabhupada. Wonderful. Aruna Nayana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Actually, Prabhu, my family background, they are religious, but then unfortunately they are into an Upasampradaya. So I was kind of brought up in that culture, where my perception of religion was something totally opposite to what it is now. I moved to Pune, Prabhu, for higher studies. And there in my class, one of my classmates, as a student, used to frolic around, do all those things as a student does usually. That that particular person told me, ki, this Sunday, let's go to someplace different. He was not interested in the regular activities. So I found him to be quite different than normal guys. So Sunday I agreed, what is there? He said, very nice food you get there. It's free of cost, that too. So I was attracted, okay, money, of course. So I went there, and for the first time I saw people happily dancing and singing. So it's a different kind of a discotheque or whatever you call it. And then I started dancing with them, felt very nice. And after that, there was this class, which I never had. I had an idea of Bhagavad Gita, and I always thought it is something, it's a pretty dangerous book. That was what, because you get, you end up being a beggar, you renounce life, and then maybe on the street side, you'll start begging. All those concepts are there. But then I still remember Vrindavan Prabhu. It's almost 1995 Prabhu. It was such a nice class, and one thing which he mentioned was that for the body to be satisfied, all the fingers cannot independently enjoy. They have to satisfy the stomach, then the whole body. That compared that. That I found very unique, Prabhupada. I still remember that. And that day itself, I had purchased 2 books, small books. One was the Ajamil book. The first one was The Topmost Yoga System. And after having gone back, I read that, found it tough actually. And then so again, next day I went back, and then I got the Ajamil book where his history was defined. After that, someone told me to get the Gita and the chanting beads also. I started 2 years, it was going on nicely. But then it was that friend who used to take me. But then the friend was from a different country, so he moved out. I somehow lost interest. And after that, I came back to my native place. And then again, I was back in the wilderness, 17 years gone like that. Nothing, breaking all the regulative principles. I was in a job, married with kids, and I was transferred to a place called Tripura, Prabhu. I've been knowing in Agartala. So there I was on my way work in the evening, returning home, and it was drizzling. So I had to stop my bike, and then I went for a shelter. On the gate above, there's a tin roof. And then I noticed that a Vaishnava was sitting on a small stool, and he asked me, well, you can come inside, you'll get wet. I entered a little. Then I asked him, is this a temple? And he said, yes, this is a temple. So what temple is this? So this is the ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So wow, you have ISKCON here. So then we started discussing as the rain started. Then he discussed so many things. Then the day after was Sunday. He invited me to come over Sunday. I thought, yeah, I remembered the feasting and all that. And there was this connection. And somehow I went there. And there it was Premanjana Prabhu, who is now in Mayapur. He was there. He used to regularly take classes. And fortunately, all the devotees there took so much care. They literally ensured that I do not, lose this again. But now, after having lost 17 or 15 valuable years since those first days when I was there, and now when I'm back again, it's been almost 8 years now. I've been initiated also thanks to Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. I mean, I am not qualified enough to glorify Prabhupada. If I look back at my life, it was a horrible situation, Prabhu. And now, when I compare, it actually gives me immense hope that yes, a person like me can progress further. And thanks to all the association and all the teachings, Prabhu, I'm really indebted to all of you and Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Wonderful. I know Premanjan Prabhu. He's a very nice devotee in Mayapur.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, he makes the announcement sometime.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. I went to his house one time. Very nice. Thank you. Wonderful. So next Friday, Mother Kara, whoever did not speak, Mother Kara and somebody else. Now,
excuse me, Prabhuji. Excuse me,
yes,
Prabhuji. Dandavat, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I'm sorry to interfere before you are starting, but today I need to thank you, Prabhuji. I need to share something which miraculous has happened in my life, and I want to share it with all present today over here in this program. Prabhuji, I'm so very thankful to you. because when you take the class, from the first day I was thinking that after this class, since you have so many devotees, so many students who are under your guidance, you will never be remembering me. Who am I? Who am I? And with this thought, that day I slept. And trust me, Prabhuji, it is the mercy of Radharani and Sri Krishna and Srila Prabhupada ji. I just slept with this, that I cannot do anything in this COVID. Okay, being a doctor, I can just help few patients, that's it. And I slept. You came in my dream. Trust me, you came in my dream saying, get up, you have to do some work. And next morning, yesterday, Guru Maharaj, Loknath Swami Maharaj, he told to all the devotees that so many people are in crisis. So anybody in any profession come out for help. And he gave me the opportunity to help the people who are affected and who had just recovered, to do the counseling. And Prabhuji, trust me, the way you told me in a dream that get up, you have got some assignment, I was really shocked to see you come in my dream. And why I had to share this thing today, the reason being, recently when I did my disciple course, Prabhuji, Anand Shish Prabhuji told that spiritual guides, the Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru, are mentally involved with each devotee. And Prabhuji, I have got this result today. That's why I have intervened to share this experience. That thank you so much, Prabhuji, that I'm in a path, and I'm so very, I cannot just stop my tears, that the way you instructed, and next morning I got this assignment. I'm so very thankful to Prabhupada and you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata. You can pray also for me, and I'll pray for you too, and all of you too. So today, thank you, Mother Sonali. Today I read this chapter 13. I really want everybody to pay attention. Last two sessions, it's you all have to express a particular chapter. Instead of whole 15 chapter, each person has to really work hard to give the essence of that chapter. So when I say 1, 2, 3, you count the time, and I'm going to give you the whole secret, what notes I'm taking from today's chapter. Their whole life, I'm going to keep it in my notebook. Every day before I start chanting, I'll read it. But let's see how much time it takes. Just today's chapter, and then we'll read the chapter, and then you see what I got from the chapter, whether it is essence or not. Am I explaining clearly, or? Did I explain clearly? No?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to do first now, I'm not going to read, I'm going to say what I made the note from today's chapter. This is for my notes. I'm going to use it whole life until it memorizes and automatically comes during my chanting. So first thing I did, Gorochan, can you keep the track of the time? I want to see how much time it takes. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. By the Guru Gauranga's mercy. First thing on this chapter, chapter 13, Aham Mava Bhava Aparad, offense of thinking in terms of I and mine. So first note I found that Aham Mamata Bhava means Deha Atma Buddhi. When body is the self, considering body is the self, I'm a man, I'm a woman, this actually creates an offense. And the result, I won't get prema. So in that, I found 4 things very important. 1, when I think I'm the body, I lose the respect and the feeling for the holy name, naturally. 2nd, it blocks Krishna Prem to rise in my heart. It's like eating soup with the forks. I don't know if anybody ever ate soup with the forks. You know what happened? You stay busy and hungry. You never get satisfied. That's how your chanting will be. You'll be going for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You'll stay hungry, but you never get satisfied. Number 3, even though I got initiated, but because this Aham Mamata Buddhi, I will develop an attachment to sense gratification or opposite sex and slowly go down, or just hang in there, nothing progressing. Number 4, this aham mamata buddhi or bhava, this I and mine, will create an intelligence that will cause oppose to surrender. That's why it is deadly. This offense is most deadly. So that's 1. 2, what is the remedy? Remedy to get out of this offense is to develop a saranagati, surrender. 1, accepting favorable things to serve, rejecting unfavorable things to serve. 3rd, having faith in Krishna as a protector. 4, knowing that Krishna is the only perceiver and maintainer. Sorry, preserver and maintainer. 5, Karpanne means thinking myself very low and worthless. 6, Atmanikship, being self-surrender. There's a warning I also made. If I don't cultivate this surrendering mood, saranagati, I'll just accumulate more wealth to enjoy material life while I'm practicing and nothing progress. And Krishna Prem is very far. Okay. Number 3rd key point, who is the doer? So there is a negative and positive. I have to give up this, that I am the doer, I'm the giver, I'm the protector of my family. I own my body, I own my wife, my husband, all my children is mine. I'm a Brahmana, I am a Sudra. This idea has to be given up. And I have to adopt an idea centering Krishna in the center. Krishna is the controller. I have to allow him to control me. He is the doer. Krishna's desire is my main desire. As Krishna desire, I will not show my independent, separate interest, but I will align with it. Krishna's wish, I will stay. If Krishna wants me to stay in this world, I'll stay. If he wants me to go back, I'll go back to spiritual world, whatever he wants. If there is a pain, suffering, if there is a rejoicing, still I am his servant. I'll never give up that mood. His will, he will give me mercy as he likes, but I will always depend on him. My material enjoyment and renunciation are all dependent on Krishna. When I must develop this attitude, then Atmanivedan or self-surrender will take place. Okay, number 4 point, key point. I must maintain a belief that everything that glorifies the power of holy name, I must glorify and believe that. If I don't maintain that belief, it will be only namabhas, only liberation, never will get Krishna Prem. Number 5 point. I have to cultivate a process to make these surrender acts. How? First, there are 6 points on this Saranagati. There are six components of Saranagati, and there is a 6 cultivation process. 1, I must be fixed in chanting every day. Must be fixed. Whether I'm sick or happy or sad, whatever, I'll keep on chanting. 2nd, I will give up the idea that I'm this body. I will not identify. I will consciously try every day, every hour. 3rd, this way I'll come to a stage where I can actually do pure devotional service and the attachment to Maya will disappear. 4, then this is a gradual. Then the idea of what pleases Krishna through Guru will be so much enthused in my heart that I will actually make the surrender very easy. Then 5, no more 10 offenses. I memorize the 10 offenses and consciously trying every day not to commit, even whether I like or not like, someone or something, I'll just stay protected not to commit offense. Number 6, this way Krishna Prem will arise in the heart. And then the final is 6 final, that I'll pray every day to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that aparadh never enter again in my heart, and I'll chant the holy name with enthusiastic and feeling. Okay, time out. 7. Did everybody understand how long it took? 7 minutes for me to finish the essence of this chapter. So I'm going to give you 5 to 10 minutes. Is there anybody can volunteer to help me in this process? Mother Kara, okay. I see your hands up. So please, everybody can, in the chat room, you can give her your name, which chapter you are taking. You're going to do the summary. Not today, it's the last 2 sessions. Next week, we are going to, today is 13th chapter, Friday is 14th chapter, and then next week, 3 days, all 15 chapter. And then week after, 2 days, we have last 2 sessions. Those 2 sessions, you all have to speak. And I'm going to hear, and we're going to add or subtract. So you decide which chapter you like, and you can just send to Mother Kara in a chat room, and then she will just make the list. You have no option. You have to, everybody has to participate. And the graduation will take place the last day. Okay. Now somebody is going to read. I already gave the summary. Now you can see while we read whether we covered the. Who is going to volunteer to read? Yes, Satyadevata Prabhu, go ahead.
Sorry, Prabhu, 1 second. Yeah. Chapter 13, Attachment to I and Mine. Gadai Gauranga Jaya Jahnava Jivana, Sitadvaita Jaya Jaya Gaura Bhakta Kahana. Overcome with prema, Haridasa recited the last offense in chanting the holy name. Listen, my Lord, this offense is the lowest of all. With this offense, one cannot get prema. It is the attitude which is exactly opposite to surrender to the Lord. Having extirpated the first 9 offenses, the devotee should culture full surrender to the name. According to the scriptures, there are 6 types of surrender which are impossible to explain in detail. In brief, they are as follows. 1. Accepting everything favorable for the service of the Lord. 2. Rejecting everything unfavorable for the service to the Lord. 3. Having faith in Krishna as one's protector. 4. Knowing that Krishna is one's preserver and maintainer. 5. Thinking oneself as low and worthless. 6. Being self-surrendered. If one does not culture these attitudes while chanting, one will simply accumulate material in life. Those things which always help increase devotion should be accepted in one's life with relish. Those things
Once again, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Satyadevata Prabhu, thank you. 1 second.
Yeah,
These are the things I really want everybody to remember. You talk to your mind every day. Krishna will protect me. Who is talking to who? Mother Anastasia. Who is talking to who? Who is going to talk? These surrenders.
Haridas Thakur is talking.
Now, I'm talking about this every day. You have to talk to your own mind. You have to talk to every day until automatically it comes to your mind. Krishna will protect. Why I'm worried? Then your mind will be completely under control. Never you'll be disturbed. But you have to do this. Prabhupada says teachings of Lord Chaitanya. A small book Prabhupada wrote, 5 chapters. In the introduction, he said, every day devotee should talk to the mind. Otherwise, mind will take over you. Don't try to control the mind. Engage these teachings lesson intelligent that intelligence will control the mind, not let mind control you. This is the completely opposite. The karmis are controlled by their mind. We need to evoke this to control mind. This is necessary. Okay, Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah. So those things which impede the devotion should be rejected in disgust. One should believe that other than Krishna, there is no one on whom to depend, and that Krishna alone is one's maintainer. One should think that one is very low and unqualified with no possessions. As an eternal servant of Krishna, one will be willing to do anything that Krishna desires. To believe that one is the doer, the giver, the protector, that one owns this body, house, wife, and offspring, to think oneself to be a Brahmana or Shudra, husband or wife, king or citizen, this should all be rejected. Instead,
once again, Prabhu, Satyadevata Prabhu, is it easy to think like you are not a man? Be honest.
Difficult. Very difficult, Prabhu.
Very difficult. But if you keep on speaking, I'm not this body. Talk to your mind, I'm not this body. Yes, I'm acting as a man, but I'm not this body. I'm a surrendered soul. I am a surrendered soul to Krishna under my guru. This you have to keep on repeating. Now I'll come back. I want to give you a little tips how this helped me. Ask a question. Can you change? This is my question. Ask yourself. So you write, can I change? And I'm going to give you some tips. Because when devotees, this has happened here. Even other day I was talking to this couple. When devotees look at their obstacles to advancement in Krishna consciousness, they sometimes doubt. Do you have that problem? They do doubt whether they will ever be able to overcome all of them. If you are really honest, you will agree. And if you are not, you'll say, oh my God, he's talking about my mind. Yes. I ask you, please, all of you, make a list of obstacles they face in devotional service. It could be 1, it could be 10. What obstacles you have to surrender to Krishna that you feel like, well, I don't know what happened after surrender. I mean, I have to calculate. This is another trap of mind. You please make a list of the obstacles that you will face in devotional service or you are facing. Oh, I don't have enough income. Or whatever the obstacles, you make the list first. Write it down. It's a big deal to keep in the mind instead of writing down. Just write it down. And then formulate a prayers to overcome those obstacles. And it works, Prabhus and mothers. First, you have to write what the problem is or challenges is. And then formulate a prayers to overcome those obstacles. You need help, I'm here. I'll help you, whatever I know. But it works. That's why I'm very convinced that whatever this philosophy giving, I apply and it works. It is easy to become discouraged. See, you try, it doesn't work. You feel like, oh, I'm really probably like the worst guy in the whole universe. I'm just, yes, you'll feel like that. I did feel like that too. It is a natural. So it is easy to become discouraged, and you may feel that it may not even be worth praying to overcome obstacle. You ever thought like this? I don't want to pray, I don't know. Or you think, you know what will happen? If I go on chanting, after a little while, this thing will be gone. This is another trap. Meanwhile, you may carry these anarthas for years, even life. I'm serious, be very careful. What we believe, that's who we are. How much faith you have, that much you are advanced. This is realistic. So ask a question, can you change? So first, on that question, can you change? The research confirms. I have asked many sannyasis who are very realized, born in a Western world, but so strict in the principle and rigidly they are growing, and with the realization, nourishment in their heart. I just had a talk with one sannyasi the other day. It was wonderful. That yes, change can take place. Even if a person is convinced they cannot change, it simply requires that the impetus to change is strong enough. Please remember that. The impetus to change is strong enough. When it is, yes, change will take place. It is common that an alcoholic who thinks he can never give up drinking will quit. But I saw with my own jeweler, you know, I was a diamond dealer one time. I used to sell diamond in this. We still have a shop. My son runs it. I gave him as a gift. So here it's very interesting. It says that my jeweler who was working there, he's an American, white body. He was a goldsmith, and he used to go to ANA. I don't know if you know ANA. It's an Alcohol Anonymous. There's a group in America. Every city has a group. If you have a drug problem or alcohol problem, you join in that group just to, you know, heal yourself. It's a very nice program they have, and government supports that also. It's not Hare Krishna program. It's a government. It's kind of a social program every city has. And if you're not alcoholic, you may not know it. But generally in America, they know it. So one day, something happened to him. He has a very funny name, Krill Hintermister. That's his name. So I learned a lot about Bible also through him. It's a very nice man. So what he says, that it's a common that alcoholic who thinks he can never give up drinking will quit. You know when? When his wife told him that she and the kids will leave if he does not stop drinking. And it worked, Prabhu. Till today, he's a Facebook member also. Other day I was talking to how he's doing. He's still chanting sometime. He's not a fully dedicated yet, but he's chanting. He's a strong Christian also. So my point is there has to be a impetus, either from within or from outside by your friend or family, that can actually change you. It is possible. And that reminded me, we had actually one child molester who said that he cannot control himself when he was asked. Then he was interviewed. This is a true story. I won't say the name. That if you are about to molest a child and you see the policeman appeared right there and said, you touch the child, you will be arrested. Would you stop yourself? He said, yes. Said, why? You said you could not stop. So all these things is actually not true, that you cannot change. You can change. You don't have enough strong impetus, the reason why you want to change. They always reply, well, if I were going to be arrested, this guy said actually, then I could stop myself. So you don't have enough fear of death. You don't have enough fear of Maya. Prabhupada repeated this. He even said that my disciples, they do not have enough fear of Maya. Because Maya flirt with us. What is the problem? Satyadevata Prabhu, you're still young. Don't worry. Don't be too serious. You can do bhajan seriously when you are old. Why you have to become so serious now? You are young, enjoy life. This is a Maya step. She flirt. She doesn't say that this life is like ending very quick. So what is my first point here? Can you change? Please write it down. You have a choice. You have the choice. So rather than say, I cannot overcome this obstacle, or I cannot do this, or I cannot do that, it's generally more accurate to say, I choose not to do it. And that's true. I have tested this. This gives you a more realistic view of your situation. For an example, if you feel pride is an obstacle, you can choose to glorify other devotees. And I do this, very interestingly. It's not out of pride, but I don't want to say it. But, I started actually finding a devotional quality of some devotees in our community. And whenever I meet, I hint that point. Because I had a problem before, I used to critical in my mind, find a fault in others. Very mysteriously, it changed within me. I was like, wow, always looking for some good quality, devotional quality in others. And you'll see the finding fault disappears. I was pretending, I'm being honest to you, I was pretending for many years, and it becomes natural now. So you cannot stop maybe to get rid of your pride or fault finding, but if you start glorifying the devotee with devotional quality, don't just say, oh Prabhu, you are so handsome, oh Mataji, you are so beautiful. This is not glorification. Glorification means, oh, you are so sincere, every day you chant on time, it's so nice. Say something that practically it is glorifying the holy name and that person's dedication. Genuine. And it changes within you. You kind of give up. You forgot even that you forgot finding fault anymore. It's so nice, so free, so illuminated. Actually, you feel very happy. So my point is that no one is telling you that you have to be proud. Anybody tells you that you have to be proud? No. No one is forcing you not to serve or glorify other devotees. Even though I suggested, but nobody actually told me, oh, you should find a good quality and glorify. So what is the understanding, realization we have? Your mind may be telling you that, but you don't have to listen. Please remember this. Your mind may tell you to find fault or something wrong, but you don't have to listen. That choice you have. So what is the greatest potential obstacle to your advancement? You are. The impetus to change. Please remember, the impetus to change. Where does the impetus to change come from? You may think. Well, one way it comes is by looking at what you are losing by not overcoming your obstacles. You follow? One way, by looking at what you are losing by not overcoming your obstacles. I like to ask myself, what could I achieve in Krishna consciousness if I remove this or if I remove that anartha from my life? I used to be addicted to ice cream, at least for a summer. So I was just thinking like, okay, why do I have to depend on it? What am I losing? I'll be still hot, maybe feel little cooler, or I can be under the fan. It doesn't have to be ice cream too. I was just literally, and after a little while, for almost 4 or 5 years, I didn't have any ice cream yet. I even forgot about it. It is a wrong conception that we think we are actually depend on it. Like I had another goldsmith. She's also American body, I mean, Western body. And she used to tell me, Govind, if I don't have a coffee, I cannot feel good in the morning. And I was like, I always saw that she has to have a coffee while she's working in the jeweler bench. But these silly things is the weakness of your heart. It is nothing to do with who you are, but you think you depend on that. So what you should do? You should answer always a resounding, I would be much stronger, more blissful, and way more peaceful. You have to talk to your own mind. That I would be much stronger, more blissful, and way more peaceful. I would be more fulfilled. My spiritual progress would obviously be less hindered. In other words, I have so much to gain by overcoming my anarthas. If you cannot convince yourself, you will never get out of those anarthas. Please write another note. Key point. Just say no to Maya. Why do I keep holding on to them? Because I choose to. Take the blame to you. It's a reality. That's a fact. Or put it another way, Maya is choosing for you and I'm not saying anything. I have to just say no to Maya. Now, do you know, I'm sure you all know, do you know not choosing is also a choice? Please remember this. If you say, well, you know, this, this happened automatically, I didn't know, I just didn't say anything, I was just quiet. Well, if you're not choosing, that is also another choice. In Sanskrit, they call Maunam Sammati Lakshanam. Because Dasharatha did not say anything, Ram accepted as he agreed, going to Banavas for 14 years. So if you stay quiet, something bad happening, your spiritual path, and you stay quiet, well, I didn't know what to do. That is the choice actually you're making. It is not like you didn't know what to do. So what is the positive? I said enough bad. Love, develop love for Guru, for Prabhupada. What is another impetus for a change? Prabhupada said that when one has a great love for his spiritual master, he will follow all his instructions. So a lot of time we don't follow because we really don't love. Love means two things, intention and action. Oh, I love Prabhupada. What are you doing for Prabhupada? I love him. Oh, good. But what do you do? Well, I'm busy on my things. I said, then don't say you love. This is incomplete. Love means bhava rupa chesta rupa. You have to act through your mind, body, and words, and you have to have a good intention, favorable intention. Love has to carry a favorable intention. The proper attitude is that I may not want to do something, but I'll do it because my Guru asked me, because Prabhupada said that. Think like this. This will be proper attitude. Then surrender will become very easy. We can pray to our Guru to give us strength. If you say, well, I'm very weak, sometimes I feel like I fall for it, I succumbed. I didn't know what to do. Well, then pray for it. Pray to Prabhupada. Prabhupada comes in the dream. When I had a little trouble, I generally don't say it. But Prabhupada came in my dream. And he exactly told me what I should do, and I'm doing that. And I see the progress become easier. It's not easier, but it becomes more clear. we sing those songs. What is that Prabhu's name? Brihadnath Prabhu. He always liked those Bengali poems, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You should sing that sometime. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Karo Eda Se Tina Pekshayoti Hina. You pray to Gurudev that I cannot just to tolerate. I don't like that Mataji's behavior. I don't like that Prabhu's way of dealing or leading Kirtan. He's like showing up. I may feel so many things. I don't have a tolerating power. Pray to Krishna. Pray to Guru. Please give me that strength. Empower me so I can tolerate them. On my own, I am useless. I cannot tolerate. It says here, Sakala Sahane Baladiya Kara Nijo Manes Priyahina. Sakala Sahane, to tolerate everyone, please empower me. You can cry and you will see it. Prabhu, if it doesn't work 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time, 6 time, keep on going, keep on going. It happened to me. I even came to a point that maybe it's not working. But something within me told me to keep on going, and I did. On 11th time, it really turned. I don't have any more that feeling. It disappears. According to my condition, disease, my attachment, how deeply it is rooted, it may not immediately activate, but keep on trying. It will eventually uproot, whatever it is. So I'll end with this. You can do another also choice, I thought, committing to another guru, like Mother Sonali was explaining very nicely. You can, committing to another devotee can be a great impetus. When I was going through a little struggle, I tell you, I asked Jayadvaita Maharaj, long time back in 80s, I was in Los Angeles Ratha Jatra, so I met Jayadvaita Swami, you know, he's one of the oldest sannyasi. And I have a good relationship with, I asked Maharaj, I said, what should I do? I'm just kind of scared to work outside, but I got married and now what should I do? Maharaj said, you got an opportunity, grab it, Prabhupada said. And I grabbed it and I went very successful in the business. And then I was going through tough time to get out of, to dedicate more. It was very interestingly, after 30 years, I met him again. And I was going through a really tough time. I said, Maharaj, I'm going to feel like my world is like ending, horrible. I'm not getting liberated or getting out to be serious devotee. I remember Maharaj gave me a big hug in Alachua. That was about 20 years back, or maybe 18 years back. And he said, don't worry, Prabhupada said, Krishna said, everything is temporary. This thing will go away. And after, you know, few years when everything is over, I confronted to Maharaj. I said, that was so wonderful. Thank you for such a wonderful conviction, because he acts on it. And I'll never forget those help. So what I'm trying to say that sometimes you may need some inspirational Shiksha Guru or a well-wisher. You know, Jayadvaita Maharaj is not my guru, but I feel he always has like a big brother shoulder. When I need some help, I call him up. I ask him. Same thing I do with Radhanath Maharaj. So you can take a shelter of some devotees who you can feel comfortable. Now, where I am today, I feel very wonderful by their mercy. I can never forget that. So if you say, I commit to you to come to Mangalarti, to not speak ill of devotees, to give up the bad habit, etc., it is usually more effective to commit to someone else than to commit to ourselves. Did you ever have an experience? You say to yourself, I'm going to chant 25 rounds. Ekadashi is coming next Friday. I'm going to do it. 16 rounds was tough, but 25. Then you commit to yourself, and then that day probably you woke up even late. Oh, I committed myself now. I didn't even get up on time. You may feel disappointed. From a practical point, I will not say how many rounds I chant, but it is a very good, healthy rounds. and because I promised to someone and somebody actually checked on me, that person also disappeared. All senior sannyasi, it disappeared. But now it became a habit and it's going very easy, smooth by his grace. So sometimes take a shelter of another devotee who can empower you, and your commitment to that person will help a lot. This is why having a coach or a friend who are accountable to is so effective. Oh, Krishna, it's almost time out. Okay, what's the bottom line? We'll end here. The bottom line is that Krishna sees we are sincere in our effort to advance. He will certainly help us from within. And if he helps us, everything becomes easy. Make yourself connected through that. Okay, Satyadevata Prabhu, we need to finish reading. Sorry.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hope everybody remembers. Can I change? Ask that question and you're going to answer all these points. You write your own paraphrasing. Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Satyadevata Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. I'm just reading. 1 second.
Okay. You need help? Somebody else to read too? You're okay?
No, I'm okay. Yeah. So to believe that one is the doer, the giver, the protector, and that one owns this body, house, wife, and offspring, to think oneself to be a Brahmana or Sudra, husband or wife, king or citizen, this should all be rejected. Instead, centering one's thoughts on Krishna, one should think of Krishna as the controller and doer, and that Krishna's desire is the main thing. One will do as Krishna desires, not as one independently wants to do. By Krishna's wish, I will stay in this world. And by Krishna's wish, I will cross over it. If there is pain, if there is rejoicing, still I am Krishna's servant. By his will, he will give mercy to the jivas. By material enjoyment and renunciation, all are dependent on Krishna. When this attitude is present, it is called Atma Nivedana or self-surrender. When these 6 types of Sharanagati, full surrender, are not present in an individual, he possesses the intelligence of I and mine. Such a person is considered a low rascal because he believes that he is the doer, that the world is his, that he is the creator of his destiny and the enjoyer of the fruits of his activities, that he is his own protector and maintainer, that there are his wife, brothers, sons, and daughters, and that by his own endeavor he can achieve all perfection and glory. Such people are proud of the power of their own knowledge, not considering the Lord's control. They think that by their own brain they can increase and extend the arts and sciences. If these people hear the glories of the name, they do not believe them, or if they do chant Krishna's name, it is only out of social custom. Being pretenders and cheaters, they may chant the name in Harinama Bhasa, but will never get prema. This offense is due to being bound tightly by Maya, and deliverance is very, very difficult. However, one can see that there are some people who, taking up the name and reaching the level of Shuddha Bhakti, have completely given up material attachment and humbly worship Krishna's lotus feet and sing his name. One should seek out this type of person, take his association and serve him with the desire to give up material attachment. Gradually, one will become fixed in the name, and I and mine will go away as one transcends attachment to Maya. Giving up the false mentality, one will culture full surrender, which is the constitutional position of the jiva and the very nature of bhakti. By this, one can get prema. One who gives up the 10 offenses and performs devotional service correctly is the most fortunate in the 3 worlds, is full of all good qualities, and is qualified for getting Krishna's mercy. While chanting the holy name, very soon by Krishna's mercy, that person will come to the level of bhava and prema. The Lord has stated himself that whoever takes the name without offense will attain prema, and whoever takes the name without giving up the offenses will never attain pure bhakti in spite of his practices. The practice of jnana gives liberation, and fruitive activities give material enjoyment. But pure Krishna Bhakti and Prema are available only by correct execution of the sadhana bhakti. As liberation and material enjoyment are both unsatisfying, and as bhakti is the only solution, the real form of liberation and the glory of the soul, the jiva must obtain bhakti. By carefully performing sadhana bhakti without any offenses, the creeper of the bhakti will quickly yield the fruit of the prema. To do sadhana carefully means to do it without the 10 offenses. Therefore, whoever is desirous of obtaining bhakti will take the name, being attentive to avoid each of the 10 offenses, and in the heart fervently begging at the feet of the holy name to give mercy to destroy offenses. One can never be released from offenses against the name by prayaschitta or pious activity, but only by again taking shelter of the name continuously, chanting day and night, feeling repentant. The offenses will go and the fruit of the name will come. One will get Shuddha Nama, then Bhavanama, then Premanama. Finally, to keep the offenses from entering the heart, pray for the mercy of the Lord Chaitanya, who is absorbed in the nectar of the name. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, who has become the recipient of the Leelas of the devotion, by the grace of Haridasa, sings eagerly the touchstone of the holy name. Harinama Chintamani. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you. I hope this chapter is not creating a doubt whether should we have any affection or no attachment to the family member or my relative or anyone. In order to give up this dehatma buddhi, it's not easy. We can read, we can reflect, but it's very difficult. So I'm going to give you just few minutes, few tips, what helped me, help also many devotees. First, ask a question. What is the difference between affection and attachment? This question you ask to yourself. What is the difference between affection and attachment? Well, from Bhagavad Gita, we see affection is where we have positive emotions towards a person. Affection is where we have positive emotions towards a person. But we act in a way that is for the well-being for that person. Attachment is when we let that person do whatever that person wants just because we don't want to displease the person. Can you relate this in Mahabharata? Sure. The whole Mahabharata started based on these two things. There's a big difference between attachment and affection. You don't give up affection, but try to give up the attachment. An affectionate person will give good advice to a person whom wants love or an object of his affection, even if that advice is unpalatable, like mother does to the children. I saw that, I used to do. If that is undesirable, but it's true, but an attached person cannot do that. Who in Mahabharata? Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, the whole thing messed up because of his attachment. He could not give up. Try to understand, we all have that attachment. Try to develop affection, not attachment. It's difference. As devotees, we should cultivate affection, not attachment. I'm serious. Why? Because Prabhupada had affection. Even he took sannyas. Even he gave up his family life and he had a little trouble. But still, he did not give up affection. In 1977, he called Satadananda Swami. He said, this is a japamala I chanted. Make some arrangement to send it to my wife and tell her to chant and go back home. That is affection. He had no attachment, but he had affection. Everybody understand that? This is a great soul's view. They never withdraw their affection. They see the soul. Whenever we are in human relationship, it is natural that we have feelings for the people around us, isn't? And that is desirable also. Otherwise, our society will not be maintained. But our feelings should be affection. Affection and not attachment. Attachment will drag me or us down, but affection will lift others up. Lift. At that time when Duryodhana, because I was mentioning about Mahabharata, Duryodhana was finally killed. He enlightened Dhritarashtra. And then he took him along with Gandhari to the forest. Dhritarashtra eventually attained an auspicious end. Vidura himself was a great sage. And in Mahabharata, you know, it is described that because Vidura and Yudhishthira were related in an extraordinary way. Because Vidura, as I said, was an expansion of Jamaraj. And Yudhishthira was actually the son of Jamaraj or Dharma. Vidura, when he departed from the world, he granted his wisdom to Yudhishthira. I don't know if you know that. In the forest, when Yudhishthira had gone in search of Dhritarashtra and others, there at one time he met Vidura. In some renditions of the Mahabharata, it is described that how Vidura, when he departed from the world, he granted his wisdom to Yudhishthira. He, by his mystical process, transferred his powers. In one sense, it is the same Jamaraj who is manifested here as himself and his son. He manifested his wisdom so that Yudhishthira could rule the virtue and glory, and then Vidura returned back to heavenly destination. He was a Jamaraj before. So we can see that Vidura lived a glorious life of virtue and unflinching and genuine affectionate friendship. Vidura was friend to Dhritarashtra, Vidura was friend to all of them. Even though Duryodhana wanted to kill him, throw him outside the palace just before the war. I'm not going to go in a big story. I'm sure you all heard and know about it. But we can see that Vidura was a good example of affection. Prabhupada has a lot of affection for all his disciples, but he was not attached to anybody. Our attachment should be only for Krishna, Guru, no other. But we should have an affection for all of them. You always be a well-wisher to all your friend, family members, because they belong to Krishna. Help them. But attachment means they doing whatever they want to do, and you just tolerate. No, that's not good. So you have to withdraw your attachment. Any question, reflection?
Pran Govind Prabhu, Krishna. Could you
Hare
please
Krishna.
guide a little bit more how to get rid of this attachment if we already have it?
It's easiest way if we can develop an attachment to Guru and Krishna. Proportion to your attachment, attachment is also eternal. All this quality we have in the material world, it has origin in spiritual world. It is within us. So if we develop an attachment to Prabhupada and Krishna, naturally the attachment to the relative friend will disappear. But we should never withdraw affection. Affection is natural. Means you always want the best. You know, Vidura did not even join the party in the war. And one question was, why Vidura did not join? Because Vidura did not go against Dhritarashtra's, because he had affection for his elder brother. But that was not you may say like Dhritarashtra is a rascal, he is a blind physically and spiritually, blind in every way. Why he had to have affection? For a soul who cares for you, you should always have affection. It is natural. It pleases Krishna. Just like Prabhupada had affection for a disciple who went for a drug, is a Western body in India. And Prabhupada gave a threatening letter, not threatening, but a warning letter. If he does not come, he will reject him. No more his disciple. And out of fear, he just came back, that Western devotee. I won't say the name, he's a very nice devotee now. And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked Prabhupada, will you really give up? Prabhupada said, no, I have affection for him, but I have to devise some tricks so that he gets back to normal. Smoking ganja is not a normal. So like this, affection we never withdraw, but we must not have attachment. That's dangerous. Everybody understand the difference. What I say attachment means that person will do whatever he or she wants and you just let it happen. That's because of attachment. So you should have affection means you care for the soul. But attachment means you are attached to that person's lifestyle and this, that. That's not good. It could drag you down.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any reflection from today's session? Oh, Mother Kara, did you get some names? Who is taking? You have to unmute.
Yes, Prabhu, I have taken everyone's name except for Prabhu Brahadnath Das. And I will post everything on the WhatsApp group who has selected which chapter, if it is okay.
Sure, wonderful. That's group only for us, so it's good. Yes.
If we could please have Brahadnath Das, maybe he is present. I see he is present.
Yeah, he's present, he's listening you. Brihadnath Prabhu, you please contact Mother Kara and give the chapter you will take. Okay, thank you.
Right, right. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, I have small query. In synopsis, we have to explain that synopsis in lecture, or how we should write it or send it by email?
Lecture on what? No, you're going to speak in front of everyone.
No, how it is, because I might be absent for some time. So synopsis, we have to write it. So is it like we have to explain it, or we have to send it by email to you?
I generally would like everybody to speak in the audience.
Okay.
If somebody has an extreme difficulty on that day, then you can contact me. I give you my number in the chat room. Somebody can just type it my number. You can just WhatsApp me.
Yes,
or I'll put my number in the WhatsApp. That's right. So you can have contact.
Yes,
okay. Thank you, Braja Prem Prabhu.
I wanted to ask a question, but before that, if anybody have any questions, maybe they can ask. I wanted to ask it. Or should I go ahead?
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I have this question which is little bothering me, and it is very much relating to today's topic, especially if we see the COVID situation in India. Primarily, a lot of people are dying. A lot of even devotees are also dying, and it's very, very difficult situation around. And great devotees have passed away today. Maybe a lack of people, maybe 100,000 people would have prayed, but still the devotee left the body. They all pleaded, Krishna, please mercy, but still the devotee left the body. How to understand this whole situation, Prabhu? Because this is relating to the faith and Avasya Rakshibhe Krishna, that Krishna will protect me at any time. And I've seen a devotee family It's very sad, sorry to state all these things. There is a devotee family. In a matter of 24 hours, 3 people died in the family. Husband, father, mother, and 25-year-old son. And I'm sure they would have played it, Krishna, please get me out of this trouble, because they were in ICU and all. But yet their death happened. I know there is no death is inevitable. I understand that. But how to understand the situation of when people are praying, still prayers are unanswered, but we read every time and understand Avashya Rakshave Krishna, Krishna will protect every minute. How to understand that? I know my faith is not that strong. So I'm in a still a very, very early stages of my devotion. So I have this kind of maybe mundane questions. Prabhu, forgive me for asking among these great devotees.
This is not a mundane question. It's a very thoughtful question, Prabhu. This is wonderful. You are asking a question that a lot of people are thinking, but they are not feeling comfortable to ask. And that's also true.
Yeah.
When we pray, if our prayers for material needs, then it is compared like a painkiller. You know, painkiller, Advil, Tylenol, whatever they take. And if spiritual needs, then it is like a therapeutic cure. You have to think that way, because that's how Krishna explained. I'm just using it as a modern example of painkiller. So therapeutic cure, like curing boil, I mentioned other day. If you blow air, yeah, the person feels good. He didn't die. He stayed another 20 years. But Krishna is such a wonderful God, such a wonderful lover. Krishna cares million times more than we can even think of our own good. Everything is Krishna doing is perfect. Ultimately, it's benefiting each soul. He personally handles himself when they come to ISKCON or Krishna consciousness movement. Krishna literally personally check and handle each person. He has a capacity to do that. Advaitam Achyutanadi Ananta Rupam. So, proper doctor wants not only temporary relief of pain, but cure the disease forever, isn't? A proper doctor, a good doctor, he doesn't want temporary relief of pain, but he wants to cure the disease forever. Like Pankajangri Prabhu, I know him, I used to have a lunch with him. His old friend in early 80s, every day we would have a lunch together. Two brothers, we are like in a group view. But something he wrote very interestingly. I was just reading early morning, this morning actually, 2 a.m. I was reading some of his opinion. He says, well, if I die, I'll be still in Mayapur, as the spiritual world Mayapur. And what this Chaitanya Chaitamrita says on chapter 5, text 18, where is Golok Vrindavan? Everywhere. But it is beyond the 3 modes. Means it is not within my eye exercise that I want to see with my eye. I want to feel with my touch. It is beyond this. Spiritual world is eternal, existence is there. Pankajangri Prabhu is wonderfully situated, because I expect my eyes should see him, that's mine. But ultimately, maybe he prayed to Nrsimhadev to be in that realm. Krishna takes him. There's a reason. Everything Krishna doing is wonderful. Absolutely, there is nothing ever we need to doubt on Krishna's decision. But we may not be able to see. Even one Brahmana came to Dwarka. He said, I want to blame you. You are Supreme God Krishna. But you made all these men die, 640 million, and all those wives are now widowed. The world is a mess. That's true, materially, what he says. His vision is material. But let's see for a few moments. You look at it, 1st Canto, 9th chapter, text 37, 38, explained so nicely that all those 640 million people, they died. Guess what happened to their destiny? They got liberated. Just because Krishna desired. Krishna was in the battlefield. Of course, there's a 3 things happen, Prabhupada says. That depends on us. Think on that. I think on those things. Those who only saw, as soon your subtle body dissolve, physical body, who cares? This will be dead anyway when time comes. We are not concerned of the physical body. We are going to take care of the physical body so we can advance. But physical body will finish, death will come. We are not this physical body. But the subtle body is very important. When subtle body dissolved by the power of bhakti, by the power of Sudarshan Chakra in the war, they all had a privilege to see Krishna. And Prabhupada says, Prabhupada is sometimes hilarious. He said, Natabara Bapu means, bor in Bengali also they call means, in Sanskrit also it call means groom. You know, in India, I see you are an Indian body also. You know, in India, when the man dressed the best in his life, one day only in his life, he dressed so elegant.
Wedding day.
Wedding day, that's it. He's like a king for the day or something, Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada said, why Krishna is addressed as a Natabara Bapu? Because some people saw it's so beautiful. Jogamaya really revealed his beauty. Actually, Krishna is so beautiful. If we see right now, even through the Zoom, you will go crazy to go to him. You will forget your family, you will forget your country, everything. You will just run because that attraction is supersede of all attraction. It's just the beauty, his loveliness, his kindness, his merciful nature. These are unlimited quality. So anyhow, Prabhupada says, why Krishna came in the middle of the war in a most beautiful, attractive form. And when I heard that, I was thinking, why Prabhupada is saying this? That means, so then I found Rupa Goswami said this, that Krishna manifested the most beautiful form by Jogamaya. So let people see those are dying, not those who are not dead yet. As soon as Sudarshan Chakra going, people are dying. You know, 640 million people died in 18 days. I was calculating in the calculator, it's about 38 million a day. I mean, he didn't die exactly by that, but I'm just guessing, you know, 38 million a day. Wow, Krishna must be busy. No, he's not busy. He's just sitting there just to give them a relief. But 3 things happen. Everybody got darshan of him. If nobody appreciated anything, they only got liberation. When someone appreciated, he immediately went to Vaikuntha. Somebody appreciated, fell in love with the Lord, went to Golok. Everybody try to understand, only thing you can do is up to you, your attitude. Can you appreciate and glorify, then you will go to Golok. Otherwise, you'll get only liberation, that's it. Like Shishupal, he didn't glorify or do anything, just he got liberation, that's all. So then he told the Brahmana, what happened with all those ladies? They got infected by the Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Rohini Maya. They gave a big Harikatha. When Krishna was going towards Dwarka, he was filled with all those ladies in the roof of their palaces everywhere. And they are all in love. They fell in love with Krishna. Their husband is dead, but they fell in love with Krishna. Is that ultimate benefit? Yes. They all went to Golok. Then Krishna says, you are a Brahmana, do not know the science of Krishna consciousness. You are accusing me. You know that I have to allow you to speak to me. Otherwise, you won't be able to even speak. Upadrashta Manumanta Bhatta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmiti Chapi Yukta Deshmin Purushapara. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter, it is I who give you permission to speak. How can you claim as a Brahmana? You do not even know me. You came all the way to accuse me. You do not know that what Krishna does. Please remember this. Sada Suddha Siddha Kam Bhakata Vatsalanam Bhakata Janera Nitta Sami. Sada Suddha Siddha Kam. Everything Krishna does is all good and perfect and pure. No contamination, no depression, no disappointment. But one quality prominent of all quality. What is it? Bhakata Vatsalanam. He loves his devotee more than he loves himself. Where you will find a boss like this? Never existed in the creation. Yes, when we pray, we feel like this. But actually, when you see the other side, it is wonderful action of Krishna. He really don't want those souls to just stop their journey there. He wants them, give them a boost. Either he took to another planet where the spiritual life will grow like anything, or he just took them home. It is ultimate benefit only. We should always be thankful. Whatever Krishna is doing, it's perfect. But it's difficult for common people like me to see it sometimes. So it's good to have a discussion. There's nothing wrong. We should discuss. Because common people don't understand this. Even regular, neophyte devotee like me, sometimes we don't understand. But we need to see Krishna's actually power. Krishna says he's everywhere. Didn't he say, Andasantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastha? I'm in the atom, then why did he say I'm in your heart? Are Baba, if you are everywhere, every part of my body, then why you have to say you are in my heart? Tell me. Because he cares for us. He said, yes, I'm everywhere, but I'm also in your heart, just waiting for you if you need help for me. This is Krishna. He said, Manmana bhava mad bhakta, majjaji mam namaskuru, mamevasyashi sattam te priyati jani priyasime. You do this to me, bow down to me, think of me. Why? Your false ego will disappear. The sloka before, it says, Sarva guya tamam bhuya, sinume paramam bacha. Istoshi me dhiramiti, tabakshami te hitam. Arjuna, te hitam, for your benefit. I'm telling you this. If you bow down to me, you worship me, you trust me, your false ego will disappear. You will live eternally with me, joyful in the ocean of bliss. All these things happening, pandemic, everything is controlled by Krishna. Everything. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. He owns the world, he controls it. But his control is not like a boss of this world. Very loving. Some soul does not want to surrender. He will never force. But he has an affection for him. But he doesn't have an attachment for his activity of that soul. So that soul say, I don't believe anything. Hari Baba, this is also your faith. You have a faith not to believe anything. It's not that you are faithless. Your faith in a wrong place. Because he has a faith that he doesn't believe. Okay, then Krishna says, go ahead. Let's see how far you can go. And he goes down, down, down to the bottom of the existence. And he says, I'm tired of life. Is there something better? Can somebody help? Krishna says, yeah, I was waiting for you to just call me. But he did not help him for 8 million life. Why? Because he didn't ask for it. If Krishna does not allow you for your free will to exercise, how it will be in love? You remember that example I mentioned, why Prabhupada said this? You're putting a gun on the forehead of a girl, you say, you love me or I'll kill you. And then Hridayananda Maharaj said, well, love has to have a free choice. Prabhupada said, exactly. That's why Krishna never intervened. You want help, you ask, he will help you. You don't ask, he will not help you. He doesn't want to intervene. Do whatever you want, I'll provide whatever, but you are on your own. No, Prabhu, I want to just depend on you. Okay, then you come back. I'll take care of you. You make the choice. You cannot force the girl to love you. She has to come on her own. It's the same thing Prabhupada repeated. So Krishna is arranging for each devotee. Wonderful. Maybe some devotee needed separation feeling. So Pankajangri Prabhu created this. Krishna created this through him. He took him back. Maybe he wanted. You don't know. When we pray to Krishna, what we desire. He did help to me in my life. I'll never forget. Eternally, I'll be indebted to Pankajangri Prabhu. When I was going through tough time 20 years back, he actually closed the door of Nishingadev temple and he offered 108 flower. And he said, you keep on wishing and I'm going to do that offering. I'll never forget. It was the turning point in my life. And I see today. And I'm eternally indebted for them. Every devotee's association in your life is all good. Even the mistake, even the wrong is also good because that's how we purify. So first result of your chanting is you realize the indestructibility of spiritual reality. Indestructibility of spiritual reality. And when your elevation of consciousness through chanting connects to Krishna in a higher consciousness, in that elevation of consciousness, your connection with Krishna becomes steady and strong. In that elevated consciousness, even materially, you may be inflicted or afflicted by whatever, COVID-19 or some devotee's death or this, that, yes. But you can still feel the joy of Krishna's connection. I felt Pankajangri Prabhu is a joyful journey. I will miss him, yes, but I don't lament because he had a wonderful life. He lived in a holy dham. He served Prabhupada, pleased Prabhupada. And now time came, he left in holy dham, went back to another realm. I don't mean to attack personally, but one day, I remember here, one mother died and the children crying. So I really got into this 17 years old boy. I won't say the name because he's a wonderful devotee. So I asked him, what are you missing of your mother? So everything. I said, like what? Why are you asking me this? I said, well, you said everything. Everything means there has to be 10 pages. At least give us one line or two line or one page. Let's see what you're missing. Could not speak for a while. And after a little while, he started speaking. It's all selfish motive. Or she used to cook for me, or she used to do laundry for me. She used to, I said, so you're missing for some slave to do the job? Was it really your mother who actually has so much affection? I didn't hear that. I only heard what you are missing, that your nice prasadam, your nice laundry, somebody doing it, somebody is watching. It's good, but that's not really a respectful. And today, even this morning, Mangalarti, he was there. He's a young man, but he became serious after that. He really woke up. I said, if you really care for your mother, you care for her spiritual need. Pray to Krishna for her. Pray to her to guide you. Don't look for material facility only. And that's a fact. We are spiritual. As I mentioned you before, we have a prime identity, fundamental identity. At your constitutional position, you have a fundamental identity. And conditional position, what do you have? Functional identity. How do you connect these two? Can somebody help? I think I spoke to you. You have a fundamental identity as a constitutional position. And you have a functional identity. I'm a man, I'm a lady, I'm a mother, I'm a businessman, I'm this, that, whatever. These are functional identity. It's called conditional. So constitutional is good. This is eternal. Conditional is bewildering. Oh, these people dead. Soul never dies. Constitutional never dead. But conditional, you see that death. So how do you connect these two? Who remembers it? Cognitional. Focus on cognitional. Through cognitional, from conditional to constitutional, you can go. It's a bridge. Cognitional means we focus on spirituality. Krishna is eternal. I am eternal. Soul is eternal. Our relationship is eternal. It's never lost. What is lost is our physical perception. You know, Gopal Guru Goswami is a very good example. He left his body. He was a great devotee. He used to sit on he was sitting on Mahaprabhu's lap one time. And Mahaprabhu says, Gopal, what happened? He said, I'm afraid. He said, what are you afraid of? You know who I am? I'm God. Mahaprabhu generally don't say like this, but it's, I'm God, what are you afraid? Well, Abhiram Thakur going to come and pay obeisances, and anybody he pay obeisances, if he is not Vishnu Tattva, will break into pieces. Even he paid obeisances to Nityananda Prabhu's children, they all dead, except the last two, because they are Vishnu Tattva and Mother Ganges. So I'm so afraid what will happen to me. So then Mahaprabhu says, don't worry. Mahaprabhu put his toe on his forehead and gave a little tilak mark. He said, as soon as you pay obeisances, nothing will happen to you. So then he became fearless. So he was very affectionate. He was getting affectionate from Mahaprabhu, and he had a lot of affection. You all know in chanting what happened. Mahaprabhu, the changes in Shikshastaka second verse because of him. One time Mahaprabhu's tongue is chanting. Of course, Supreme Absolute Truth doesn't pass through, but he acts sometime like this. So Gopal Guru, Gopal, his name was Gopal, young boy, little boy. Say, Prabhu, why your tongue is beaten in between teeth? In India, you see this a lot. They go like this, tongue in between teeth. So why is like this? So, oh, Gopal, I went to a dirty place and this tongue doesn't stop chanting. So I said, dirty place, you should not chant. Chanting should be in a holy place, not dirty place. So I tried to beat it. Then Gopal said, Prabhu, at the moment of death, what will happen? If it is in a wrong place, should we not chant? Mahaprabhu said, wow, that's very true. No, from today, anywhere, everywhere, anytime, we should chant. Today, I change your name. Your name is no more Gopal, Gopal Guru. So he's known as Gopal Guru Goswami. Mahaprabhu changed it. It was very nice. Mahaprabhu purposely does this through the different devotee, establish this religion. One time Gopal Guru Goswami left his body. Now, Sattva Devata Prabhu tried to understand. This is a very scientific. So he left his body and there was some trouble. There was no common understanding where his temple was, but the king did not allow Dhanachandra Goswami, his disciple, to take over the temple. You see, Guru did not write anything or tell me anything. He just left this world, so it is not going to, will take over the temple back. So Dhanachandra Goswami was a little disturbed and he started crying. Then after some time, some Brajavasi from Vrindavan came to Jagannath Puri for Ratha Jatra. And they heard this. He said, how is possible that Gopal Guru Goswami left? We saw him in Vrindavan. He said, no, he left. So they went back. When they went back to Vrindavan, they saw him chanting in Sevakund. So they came nearby. You are Gopal Guru Goswami? He said, yes. But you died. He said, no, I died in Jagannath Puri. I live in Vrindavan eternally. You are seeing my spiritual body. I live here, sometimes I disappear, nobody see me, but I'm allowing you to see because you came from Jagannath Puri, you had some question for me, so I became visible. But actually the eyes cannot see. So then Gopal Guru Goswami, then they say, oh, so how come you died in Jagannath Puri? He said, that's not my place. I went there for some mission to be with Lord Chaitanya. So I had to take birth and I died. But I live eternally in Vrindavan. I never die here or take birth. So wow, so they report the news. Dhanachandra Goswami came and met him. And then he revealed that in actually spiritual body, you can pray to Pangajali Prabhu. Maybe you will see him. You can ask him, talk to him. He said, how is that nobody see you? Everybody saw, they burn you. They saw the end of your body, everything. How is that? So they have a spiritual body. We have a spiritual body. It is important that we focus on our spiritual body, not material body. This body we got here because of we had some desire to enjoy. Now it is spiritualized. This body you have to let go. One of Prabhupada's disciples saw Prabhupada coming out from Samadhi and going on a cane, going for a walk. It was like shock. From Samadhi is coming out. They're eternal. They have eternal body. Just like you and me talking through the Zoom. That is better than Zoom. Like you really, practically, you never lost. But these three modes create us in a fear. So we have to rise our consciousness above. I hope that helps you some understanding.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your time and explaining. I will try to contemplate on it and understand more. Thank you so much.
And read those verses. 3.5, Adilila, chapter 3.5, chapter 5.18. Contemplate those verses. This is Mahaprabhu revealing this. The whole world cannot see the spiritual world, but we can. Okay, thank you. Any reflection from anybody else? Just last word.
So Hare
Something
Krishna,
you're
Prabhu.
taking with you? Yes, because
Hare,
Prabhu. Oh, I forgot you.
just a quick question, Prabhu. You mentioned about Mahabharats, all those soldiers when they died, and in Srimad Bhagavatam there is a shloka which tells about their departure, where did they go?
Yes, this is in Bhishma. There is first canto, 9th chapter. Look at 36, 37, 38. One of those verses in the purport also is in the verse.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So
I'll see that all those people went back home, back to Godhead.
I remember one thing, Prabhu, just quickly wanted to share was that even killing of all those people was out of compassion, because Krishna said that there was no more chance for their improvement with that body, and that's why the body has to be taken away. And he also mentioned to Gandhari Ma later, when Vyasji said that it was only Krishna who died and it was only he who was killed, because there is nothing else than Krishna. So it was a very nice way, Prabhu, what you have explained, and it's very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So let us pay obeisances to each other and fix at the lotus feet of Guru Krishna. Vancha kalpa tarubhasya kripa sindhubheva paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Looking forward to see you all on Friday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.